Hi there everybody, I'm Roslyn, and today I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Thrusts of Justice by Matt Youngmark. This is one of the Choose-O-Matic books. I assume it's number 2 in the series of Choose-O-Matic books, because other than this I've never heard of them, and it's got 2 on the side. Seems like a fair assumption. Published by Atherton Hyde, who just have an A as their logo. Totally baffling. I'm going to read out the back so you can see what the blurb says. You're just an unemployed reporter until a cryptic warning and an explosion outside your favourite bar send you down the road to becoming one of 3 super-powered heroes, or potentially villains. We're not here to judge. Dark vigilante. Armoured space cop. Wisecracking mutant. Whichever path you choose, you'd better get busy, because a mysterious plot is afoot, and like it or not, you're the only thing standing between the forces of evil and utter annihilation. So, that being the case, fair viewer, I thought I better crack on with this one, because annihilation, I can't really procrastinate stopping annihilation for a while, you know? It describes itself saying, Thrusts of Justice is an action comedy reimagining of the choose-your-own-path books you grew up with. I did indeed. There are 90 possible endings, 81 of which result in your humiliating death. I look forward to this. I wonder how humiliating they'll be. Like, are we talking proper silly here? This looks like a very silly book. I look forward to this one. Right. Okay, so we're starting at page 1, and we get an illustration. It says the author did all of the illustrations too, so you've got some nice glasses there, and big ups to, check his name again, Matt Youngmark, for the pickies as well as the writing. Nice one, mate. Appreciate it. Like, so this is just a let's play of it. I'm just doing a wee run through here. Don't really have the internet because I'm an orty, it's pish, so I can't really easily do a lot of things. And I've gone full retro, so I'm doing let's plays of game books at the moment. And without further ado, Thrusts of Justice. The truth is, you never really wanted to be a reporter anyway. Sure, you've been single-mindedly working towards a job in journalism since high school, but it wasn't out of a true passion for the news or anything. It was because reporters get to hang out with superheroes, and you realised, at age of 12, that short of tragically murdered billionaire parents or a freak accident involving radioactive waste, superhero probably wasn't a viable career path. Man, screw the Cleveland Tribune, Dale says. After we make $1 billion with ClevelandNewsExplosion.com, we'll buy the damned Cleveland Tribune and fire all those guys. Have another drink, Dale. That's Mila. She's just as inebriated, judging from the number of empty whiskey glasses in front of her, but carries it better. The 3 of you are having what's essentially the same argument at the same bar for the 11th consecutive day since being laid off by your common employer. Theoretically, you're exploring the idea of launching a website, but deep down you all know it's empty talk. Drunken rambling about the internet is just what unemployed journalists do. Today, however, will offer a break in your routine debauchery. Before you can flag down the bartender for another round, The room is flooded with an intense white light, followed by a strange sense of weightlessness that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand on end. Whoa, how drunk are you? A deep, soft voice calls out from what feels like the inside of your head, rattling your fillings. They're coming. What? Who's coming? Heed my words, the voice continues. They're coming, and you alone can stop them. The way forward is twisted, and there is very little time, so do not hesitate. Choose your actions carefully. The fate of this world is in your hands. The light subsides and the voice fades away with it. You silently meet your friend's eyes and find that they're as shaken up as you are. Whatever that was, it knocked the drunk right out of you. Heed my words, Dale mutters. Who talks like that? As an aside, I know my American accent is shit. Have you heard how little effort Americans make to do Scottish accents? I'm having a hoot here. I'm gonna read it however I like. So Dale's muttering away like the hickiest, weird sounding American you've heard, right? Who talks like that? In case an ominous psychic warning isn't enough, suddenly the entire bar shakes from a concussive blast. Gainful employment or not, your reporter's instincts kick in, and you leap from your bar stool to investigate. Outside, you see pedestrians fleeing in all directions from a smoking crater in the middle of the street, and three unmistakable figures dotting the landscape. The first is an enormous man in a horned helmet, who you recognise as Ox, a famous New York supervillain. He's carrying several large unmarked bags, and you realise that much of the rubble comes from the busted-through wall of a bank building directly behind him. Bad boy. The second is a cloaked figure with glowing eyes, Night Watchman, the most mysterious of the whole crop of costumed heroes. His modus operandi is to hide in darkness and strike terror in the hearts of criminals. He's old school and seriously badass. And inside the crater itself is a figure in some sort of high-tech battle armour. Could that be the Cosmic Guardian? He's a legendary hero who disappeared sometime in the mid-90s. From the looks of things, he appears to have just saved downtown Cleveland from a stray meteor. Impressive. Superheroes and villains right in front of your favourite bar. Wow. The three of them exchange glances, and you're pretty sure you're about to witness a superpowered smackdown. But then the Guardian launches into the air, sputtering off on a wild trajectory, and from the sounds of things, crashing back to Earth a few blocks over. Night Watchman disappears into an alley, leaving the Ox alone amid the chaos. What the hell is going on here? Could a simultaneous meteor strike and bank robbery be pure coincidence? And if he's not here to battle the Ox, what could Night Watchman possibly be doing in Cleveland? Mela's the first to say what you're all thinking. If you two still want to start that website, I think we've got our first story. We should split up, Dale says. Sirens are approaching, which means the Ox is about to go toe-to-toe with Cleveland's finest. That's front page news for sure. Cell phone video of the Ox in action would generate the kind of page views a typical startup news site could only dream of. Then again, the darkness lurking, fear-inspiring reason you always wanted to be a superhero, he just fled off down that alleyway. So, and a long-missing champion may have just saved the city from a meteor. That's some big-time interplanetary space hero stuff right there. Which lead should you follow? And by you, they mean me. I get to choose now one of 3 options here. Do I want to stay put and report on the Ox situation? So that was our super baddie. If I chase after the Night Watchman, that's the mysterious bloke. Can do that. Or I can track down the Cosmic Guardian instead. You know, who is he? The superhero from the 90s or something, wasn't he? I can't find it. Something like that, right? Well, I'm not sure. Have a pity think. I am going to not set my sights too high this time. Lame though it is, I am going to just, well, I am still hanging about and checking out the Ox in action. It's not like totally lame, but just, yeah, no, I think going full news site. I think getting our website off the ground. I think, okay, superheroes and that have arrived. That's fine. We can consider that. But beep 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 beep. We had a plan when we came into this bar, me and my two bezies, and I think we could have a scoop here. You know what I mean? I don't need to wade in after a mystery guy, go jumping up or down a hole or whatever he was doing to find this superhero. I don't need to go with these big shots who are probably going to be hard to... I could just sit on my ass, get the scoop on the Ox, you know what I mean? I think my friends will not be annoyed with my choice. I'm not sure what they're doing, but anyway. That's what I'm going with. If you're serious about launching a local news site, the Ox duking it out with the Cleveland Police Department is a no-brainer. By the time the local press arrives, it'll be long over, and after one late night with too much coffee and a free WordPress template, ClevelandNewsExplosion.com, you allow the name might still need a wee bit of work, can debut with an eyewitness scoop. Your friends bolt in opposite directions. Are they chasing down other leads or just plain fleeing? Either way, your whole career has been leading up to this moment. You don't have your notebook on hand, but you are a trained observer. Taking a mental snapshot of the scene, you commit everything to memory, down to the finest detail, and creep into the street for a better view. At which point, you stumble directly into the giant crater, hit your head on a chunk of meteor, and immediately black out. Oh, I'm not dead yet, though. Okay. You regain consciousness in what looks like a cheap motel room tied to a chair. Judging from the numbness, you've been there for some time. Oh, looming over you, hunched over a little to fit inside the room, is the Ox. Even without his horned helmet, there is no mistaking him. He grunts. So, you got superpowers now? Superpowers? What? No. Meteors give a lot of people superpowers, he says. You know that Verminator guy? A leather suit? Talks to rats and stuff. He seems to expect a reply, so you nod. Meteor, he finishes. I don't have superpowers. You're pretty groggy, and although you still want to get this story, you'd also really like to live through it. Are you a hostage here? If you can convince him that you're not any kind of threat, will he let you go? Plus, you kinda melted into a puddle of purple goo for a couple minutes outside of bank, the Ox says. That sound kinda like superpowers to me. I promise you that I don't have... Wait, what? You melted into a puddle of purple goo? Holy crap, maybe you do have superpowers. You feel sort of weird now that he mentions it. Testing the ropes, you find that they have a surprising amount of give. Either your captor isn't great at tying knots, or you're about to rip right through your restraints. Your mind is racing. If that meteor gave you superpowers, they could be anything. Super strength? Super speed? Laser beam eyes? You stare at the ox as hard as you can, but he just looks back at you like you're stupid and fails to burst into flames. Probably not laser beam eyes, then. He leans towards you. Unless you have some kind of super bone density, you're fairly sure he can squeeze you into a pulp with one hand. You strain against the ropes with all your might and feel them tear away. Oh, did you just free yourself with newfound powers far beyond those of mortal men? Is there any chance you could actually take this guy? Oh, I get two choices. If you punch the ox right in the face with everything you've got, it gives me one place to turn to. Otherwise, I get to run like hell instead. Oh, I think I should punch him in the face. It'll be fun. Hashtag YOLO. You know what I mean? I have been promised also. What did it say on the back? Humiliating deaths. 81 humiliating deaths. And I am quite looking forward to that. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to go with humiliating death potentially. Or YOLO, could be fun. Either way, I think it's a win-win. I'm going to punch the ox right in the face, putting my back shoulders into it and everything. Gonna whomp him with everything I've got. I've done the whole lead up, but it's probably going to do that in the book. So bear with us. You throw all your weight behind your fist, driving it straight into his massive jaw. You've never felt this kind of strength before, and you somehow manage to execute the maneuver with the grace of an acrobat. Fist hits face with a loud crack and an explosion of pain. Son of a bitch! It is like pounding a steel plate. The ox doesn't budge a centimetre, but his face breaks into a wide grin. I felt that. He says, you do have superpowers. Powers or no, you're way out of your league here, and your hand feels like it's broken in about 6 places. This is the end of the road, you think. The ox stares at you for a moment, and you just stare back, dumbstruck. So, you wanna team up? He asks. Excuse me? You know, team up. I used to roll with Megawatt before he switched sides and joined the stupid Justice Squadron. You and me could hang out, do crimes and stuff. We could get you a costume. I got a guy. Until now, you've never given much thought to villainy as a vocation. It occurs to you that if that meteor really has given you great power, then you've got a choice to make. A real hero would find a way to defeat the ox and bring him to justice. Then again, your hand hurt something awful from your first attempt at that whole justice business. Perhaps you'd be better off taking his offer and see how things play out. So, I get to decide. Do I tell the ox I'll never join forces with the likes of you? Seems unnecessary. Or do I say, joining with the likes of you actually sounds like a pretty good idea? You know what, I quite like the idea of supervillainy. I know I'm not thinking about this as much as my other choices so far, but let's do this. Yep. I'm so ready for this. Okay. You agree to join forces with the ox, and your new friend seems terribly excited about the prospect. He insists that you accompany him back to New York City to learn the supervillain ropes, and he escorts you to a nondescript van with tinted windows parked behind the motel. You climb into the vehicle, which in retrospect is probably soundproofed as well, with the £800 bank robbing stranger. What could possibly go wrong? The van is actually quite plush inside and modified to accommodate the Ox's enormous frame. Nice. He fills the entire front seat. The steering wheel is mounted directly in the centre of the dashboard and proves to be perfectly courteous to your relief. In fact, he's downright chatty. I was planning on hitting up this meeting tonight, he says. A bunch of guys get together and talk about crimes and stuff. We're not like a team or a legion or whatever, but sometimes it's good to, hear what everybody up to. A supervillain supervillain? Hold up. Did he say, did I hear right, a supervillain meeting? Your reporter's curiosity is piqued. You consider trying to contact Dale and Mayla, but you're not sure what you would say or how much you even want to reveal now that you have a secret identity. Fair point. But that's all pretty boring, Ox continues. You probably want to get your hands dirty, try to figure out your powers and stuff, huh? We could hit another bank instead. Or an armored truck or something. Come on, it'd be fun. Okay, so we've got two choices. One, why not? If you're ready for the thug life, you can pick that. Or, if you'd rather attend the, between you and me, lame meeting, either because you're planning another undercover sting operation or just for general networking purposes, you can do that. Okay, that sounds super lame. I'm so up for the thug life. Yo, let's go with the Ox. Okay, and do robbing a banker. To quote him, an armoured truck or something. Could be fun. If you're going to be a criminal, why not jump in with both feet? The Ox's armoured car idea sounds particularly intriguing. Yeah, it's like a money buffet on wheels, he says, but figuring out when they gonna show up and which ones are already loaded with cash and all that, it's kind of a pain in the ass. There's a lot more to being a super criminal than most people think. Apparently, there's quite an art to bank robbery. New York City banks are cake because they're insured against supervillain attacks, so nobody puts up much of a fight. The trade-off, though, is that superheroes get territorial and pulling crimes right in their backyard is like daring them to come thwart you. New York, of course, is lousy with heroes. That's what makes a city like Cleveland tempting. It's a day trip and the local fuzz might get a bit bent out of shape, but you're not likely to have the phenomenal 3 breathing down your neck. In fact, the Ox says, we should do another one, right here. 2 Cleveland banks in one day? That's crazy. No one will expect that. It is hard to argue with his logic, and the Ox insists that the best way to figure out your superpowers is on-the-job training. Before you know it, you're standing in the lobby of the First National Bank of Ohio, yelling at everyone to lie face down on the floor. You feel a little unprepared, but you're with the Sherman tank that walks like a man. What's the worst that could happen? A deep booming voice calls out from behind you. Hello, Ox, so we meet again. You turn to see Magnifico, leader of the Justice Squadron, and widely believed to be the most powerful hero on Earth, floating through the front door and grinning like an idiot. Dude, you say, you said we wouldn't run into any superheroes. Oh crap, the Ox replies. I don't know, maybe he came looking for me after I knocked over the first bank. That guy frickin' hates me. There's 2 of us now though, we can take him. Magnifico gives you a glance. Stand aside, citizen. This is going to get messy. Does he think you're just an innocent bystander? You take a look at his rippling musculature and think maybe you should be. The whole point of robbing a bank out here in the boonies was to avoid this very thing and not get apprehended before you even have a chance to figure out what your powers are. Should you just sell the oaks down the river and split? It doesn't sound right, but you're a thief now. You're pretty sure there's no honor among you guys. Oh gosh, I don't know. My options are jump into the fray or turn tail and flee. I am going to stand by my man. Not because I have honor. We be being thieves here. Because, though, I am a career woman and I am dedicated to my new path as a supervillain. Yep. Snitches get stitches. And I won't look good in the supervillain community if I be pansying out. I'm going to just turn to the right page now. One moment. Righty-roos. So I'm jumping into the fray, which means we get, for some reason, a picture of this guy before it's even said who he is. Maybe that's Magnifico, did it say he was? Probably Magnifico. Right. Oh, it must be. We've not got anyone else mentioned, I don't think, on this page. It says, you'll never make much of a supervillain if you run at the first sign of trouble. Besides, from what you've heard, the Ox breaks out of jail all the time. It's something you can do together. A villain bonding experience. Magnifico charges the Ox, and you leap onto the hero's back like a crazed lemur. Seriously? He says with a note of surprise in his voice. You guys have sidekicks now? He throws you across the room and you hit the far wall hard. In fact, the impact is enough to completely shatter your right arm. Oh no. Much to your surprise, it explodes with pain and then dissolves into purple goop. Something's definitely wrong here, and not just with your biology. Magnifico is supposed to be one of the good guys, but he just tossed you aside with enough force to kill a normal human being. And dear reader, let's not forget, he thinks I am one of those. Anyway, as the globe spreads across your body, though, forming a protective coating and quickly reconstituting your damaged arm, you realise that you're not a normal human being. You clearly have some kind of disgusting gunk power. And now you're pissed. And as an aside, dear reader, this is an American book, so they just talk shite all the time. They don't mean I'm actually drunk, which is what I was pissed means. They mean I'm upset, I gather. Just want to be clear. So now I'm annoyed. You leap first back into battle. But this time when your opponent punches you, his fist smacks against the gelatinous coating on your chest and sticks like glue. Trapped, he discovers a blow with his other hand to your face. Oh, did I say discovered? I meant delivers. Trapped, he delivers a blow with his other hand to your face. Hard enough to cleave your skull in two. Your head, though, just melts into purple goo and reforms on the spot. Magnifico's eyes widen. What are you? He says. I'm your doom. You shove one hand into his face and force a river of goo out of the pores of your palm directly into his mouth and nostrils. Ew. You can feel it filling up his respiratory system and instinctively know that you have complete control over this substance. You can make it flow into every crevice of his body and harden it to steel with a mere thought. Your opponent collapses to the floor, choking. Jesus, the ox says from somewhere behind you. You're gonna kill him. And why not? He definitely tried to kill you, and probably will again if you let him walk away. Besides, this is what being a villain is truly about, isn't it? Or is it going too far? You've committed to the life of a miscreant. This is the chance to kick that up a few notches, all the way to Stone Cold Killer. Wow. So my choices are, if you straight up murder the world's mightiest hero, yeah, you get to do that, or get to back off and let him live. I'm gonna back off. I'm not going full badass. I want to be a super villain, but I'm still me here, okay? Okay? Like, we ain't going full loco here. Bank robbery is one thing, but you're no murderer. Not yet, anyway. It is your first day of villainy, so you decide to take things slow. You withdraw the purple gunk from Magnifico's innards. He flashes you a look of abject terror, then turns and launches into the air through the front door, coughing and sputtering as he goes. You just defeated your first superhero. Also, you discover a small leather pouch stuck to your various effluvia. I think those might be goopy frondy bits, but I don't know. I'm not sure. You must have somehow managed to pull it off his belt while you were utterly humiliating him. Inside it, you find a glass orb, a bit larger than a golf ball, containing a tiny, wriggling worm suspended in blue mist. A piece of masking tape has been stuck to it with 2 letters written in black Sharpie. O-X. The bank has long since cleared of patrons and employees. Hey, Ox, come look at this, you say. I found a freaky little worm with your name on it. What? He's already in the vaults, stuffing stacks of cash into a duffel bag. Later, okay? Seriously, we gotta get out of here. We just took down Magnifico, you say with a chuckle. Are you really sweating a few of Cleveland's finest showing up? Not them, he says. The freaking Justice Squadron. We just pissed one of them off good, and you can bet your ass the rest are about to come down like the wrath of God. But he tried to kill me, you say. I let him live. Yeah. If you'd offed him, we would have had time to get out of here at least. I'm not saying I would have done it, but it sure would have made things easier. Apparently the reward for compassion in the supervillain game is a swift kick in the teeth. You help your partner with his cash grabbing and leave the bank in a hurry. As you make haste for the Ox's van, he starts to lighten up a bit. You know, you're going to need a cool supervillain name, he says. Something gross like your powers. How about the Furious Flame? Oh, I know, Gunk Master. Before you have the chance to tell him, you will never, under any circumstances, answer to the name of Gunk Master. Nah. You glance up at the skyline and spot 3 members of the Justice Squadron approaching. Gravity Bomb. Cold Front. Didn't it just say 3? 3 it said. Anyway, apparently approaching we have Gravity Bomb, Cold Front, Skyhawk, and Cosmic Guardian, which are clearly 4. I'm not misreading this, it says 3. Anyway, 4 of them I assume are coming towards me. Your heart sinks. Gravity Bomb alone would be a tough opponent, Her complete control over gravitational forces means you're unlikely to get close enough to try your goop in the lungs trick. Cold Front is the squadron's newest member, and it actually created a bit of an international incident when they recruited him, since he was more or less Canada's only respectable hero. He has weather powers and does this tornado twist thing with his body that will make it tough to even lay a hand on him. Skyhawk isn't terribly formidable, but the fourth one is the biggest surprise. Not only has the Cosmic Guardian been missing from the team's roster since the 1990s, but this is definitely not the one you saw meteor busting earlier today. Oh no. For starters, although it's covered in the distinctive Guardian armor, it's shaped less like a human being and more like a giant eyeball with tentacles. We're hosed, Ox says, raising both hands above his head with a sigh. Well, you can decide he's probably right and surrender, as an aside to you, like a candy ass. Or decide, no way, you can take him, put up a fight. I mean, we're probably going to get slaughtered here. I'm still gunning for one of these humiliating deaths. I've decided I'm throwing punches this time. I'm going to use my fist to talk my way through this particular mission. So, yeah, I reckon we can take him. Come on, we're both huge. I'm goopy. I can stick my arm down their throat, probably suffocate him. I don't know. There's a whole lot we've got going on. I don't know who these poozers are, but I reckon we can probably smack the stuff in. Oh, is this them? Oh, these are the poozers. Okay. Alright, okay. I can show you a picture here. These appear to be they. Well, it sounded like there were 4, but I guess there are 3. Maybe one of them has 2 names. Don't really know. You make a flying leap for Gravity Bomb, since you've pegged her as the biggest threat. Although, honestly, how she can do anything in an outfit that skimpy is a wonder. Gravity manipulation must play a significant role in just keeping the thing on. She's ready for you, though, and with a flick of her wrist slams you back into the pavement the instant your feet leave the ground. The Ox just shakes his head and sighs as the force of gravity squishes you into goo and spreads you all over the intersection. As an aside, she were called Gravity Bomb. I could have worked out she were going to do this, to be fair. I underestimated this chick. I didn't realise it were literal. Oh well. So there's me smeared on the intersection. Well, I might not still be dead. Let's see. It goes on to the next page a little bit. Okay. That alone might not be particularly fatal with your newfound superpowers. Oh, but Cold Front whips up a sub-zero Arctic blast that freezes you on the spot, and the freaky alien Cosmic Guardian thing rains down bolts of blue energy that shatter your frozen, flattened body into hundreds of shards. This is hilarious. Skyhawk then hits some of those shards with a mace. While the squadron casually takes the Ox into custody, volunteers from the local police department gather fragments of you into individual containers for later incineration. Oh no, how humiliating for me. Dearie me. I have died, I think. When a seasoned supervillain immediately throws in the towel. Yeah, they made a point. Next time, go ahead and take the hint. The end. I died. Yeah, it was a fair point. What did we learn today, people? I have had fun doing my playthrough. Show you it again. Hopefully get it in the thumbnail. This book, Thrusts of Justice. It was a very amusing one. It's even got on the front, be one of 3 superpowered heroes. Die one of 81 humiliating deaths. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, I'll probably be doing more of this. I'm gonna have to Google. Apparently this is number 2 of the Choose-O-Matic book, so there's at least one more of these. Yeah. I had an absolute hoot doing this video. I hope you have enjoyed watching it. Please like the video if you have liked it. It lets me know that you're into crap like this. I mean, fine. Premium content like this. It lets me know whether to prioritise this premium long-form content over my shorter stuff, for example, if you like this video. I have other game books that I'm doing Let's Plays of, and other things that I do on this channel, and you can look at lots of those. Lots of stuff's already uploaded. You could also subscribe. It'll tell you what else I'm doing. It'll tell you when I do another playthrough of this, which I'm definitely going to do. This one looks like it's going to have a lot of potential for different playthroughs, and that was really, really fun. Definitely going to be doing that again soon. That's all for this video. I hope to see you in another one. Bye bye.